Hey everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to discuss a really important topic of the applied electronics, that is the classification of the resistors. So before we begin the discussion, let me tell you about what passive circuit elements are all about. So basically a passive circuit element refers to any device or a component which does not introduce gain or does not have directional function. So technically what this means is that they will behave in the same manner whatever is the direction of the current, and therefore they are known as the bilateral devices. So these passive circuit elements are very different from let us say a p-n junction diode, which works only has certain characteristic when a current flows in a particular direction, particularly the forward characteristic. But these devices are technically bilateral in their behavior. So whatever is the direction of the current, they'll still exhibit the same property. So as far as the topic today is concerned, the resistor, resistor basically is an electrical component which has been manufactured with a specific amount of resistance, and resistance can conduct current in kind of both the directions. Thus the resistors may be connected in an electric circuit without the concern for the least lead polarization. Now let us begin the classification of the resistors, what this is, what it is all about. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a very simple diagram over here that kind of represents the nature of the resistors, right? Okay, so let us write the term resistor here first. So let us say we want to classify resistors. Now what happens is that these resistors here are technically divided into two broad categories. So this is category number 1 and this is category number 2. So the first category is called the linear resistors, and the second category is called the non-linear resistors. Now the non-linear resistors are then bifurcated further into three different categories. The first one is called a thermistor, the second one is called a photoresistor, and the third one over here is referred to as varistors. So basically the linear and this is the classification between the linear and the non-linear. Now as far as the linear resistors are concerned, this again is bifurcated into two parts. So the first part that we have are known as the fixed resistors, and the second category of this is called a variable resistor. Now as far as the fixed resistors are concerned, they are of different types. So let us say the first type here is called a carbon composition resistor. The second category is called a thin film resistor. Then the third category is called the thick film resistor, and the fourth one is called the wire wound resistor. The second category in this case is called the variable resistor. So the first category in this case is called a wire wound resistor. Then the second category in this particular case is called a potentiometer. And then the last category in this case is called a trimmer. So this is in a nutshell what this is all about. Now as far as the resistor specifications are concerned, so the resistors are specified in terms of their resistance values, tolerance, power rating, and thermal stability. So by tolerance, what I mean is the allowed variation permitted in the normal or the marked value of the resistor. It means that the actual value of the resistor may be either greater or smaller than that of the indicated value by a factor of a specified tolerance. So for example, the resistors are manufactured with a specific tolerance. So for example, a 5000 ohm resistor with a tolerance of plus minus 10% will have an actual resistance value somewhere between 4500 ohms and 5500 ohms. And in other words, it is like 500 ohm greater or smaller than the rated value. The power rating of a resistor is given by the maximum wattage it can dissipate without excessive heating. Now, since the power rating is proportional to the square of the current, therefore the current must not be higher than its safe value. If the current exceeds the safe value, the resistance will burn out. Usually, carbon composition resistors will fail if operated at or near the rated power values. In this case, the resistor will not burn out, but the failure is gradual, which takes maybe many months. Now, it changes gradually to a much lower amount of resistance. This causes an improper operation of an electronic circuit, particularly an amplifier. Thus, in order to increase the life of the resistors, these must be used at much less power than their rated values. A standard practice is to use a power dissipation of about, let us say, half of the rating of the resistor. And the thermal stability of a resistor is indicated by the temperature coefficient specification, which is usually expressed in parts per million per degree centigrade. The smaller value of the temperature coefficient will have less variation in the resistance value, and therefore smaller value of the temperature coefficient means a higher thermal stability of a resistor. As far as the linear resistors are concerned, the resistors through which the current is directly proportional to the applied voltage, they are called linear resistors, and such resistors have a property that their resistance values do not change with the variation in the applied voltage. So temperature or the light intensity. The linear resistors are of two types, that is the fixed resistor and the variable resistors. As far as the non-linear resistors are concerned, the resistors through which the current is not directly proportional to the applied voltage are called non-linear resistors, and such resistors have a property that their resistance value change with the variation in the applied voltage, temperature or light intensity. The non-linear resistors are of three types, mainly the thermistor, photoresistor and the varistor. So with this we kind of wrap this video. I hope that this video was informative enough, and for more such videos related to applied electronics, digital electronics, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also please don't forget to kind of share the video if you really like. Basically the purpose of this YouTube channel is to make you aware about different concepts related to science and technology, be it applied electronics, digital electronics, mechanical electronics, civil electronics, civil engineering, and so on and so forth. So thanks for now, and we will meet soon. So thank you so much for watching.